Oh my gosh. So I don't know about you at the moment, but I'm finding a lot of people are contacting me at the moment, and also myself, about how lots of that dark shadow inner work of ourselves is coming forward at this moment. Being January, the reason for saying that is because I was told, as I was in the car yesterday driving, I was taking some notes and channeling. We're driving through countryside lanes and there was trees everywhere, and I was told to look up at the trees, and I was like, how does this make any sense to me? And I was told, my guides were telling me they don't quite understand why it is that we have the seasons for nature. You know, winter, sort of hibernation to some degree. You don't see nature busily running around creating chaos and over expelling their energy, and yet humans are still busy, they just said. Now this is not going to apply for everyone, of course not, but for a large selection of people that have been contacting me, I tune into my guides, and they were sort of saying how if we look at the months, the darker months, I mean, I have clients all around the world, and this may not apply to maybe if you're living in Australia or somewhere else, that the weather is slightly different and the daylights are different and everything else. But what I've been told is that this is the real time of taking that time to hibernate, to restore your energy, to take some time out for yourselves. And yet they can't understand why you humans don't tend to do that. So as we were driving along, they pointed out to the trees, and I was like, yeah, it's a beautiful tree. And they just said to me, well, there's no leaves on the tree, like certain types of trees. And I was like, yeah. And they were saying to me, well, it's not time to expel your energy. It's not springtime to come out and to bud with great new ideas in the sense of rushing around and being busy. This is the time that, you know, humans maybe should be taking some time out to restore their health, restore the balance within themselves, and to do that inner work, the inner shadow work, the inner dark stuff that's going on for now. So anyway, we were driving and I was looking around the countryside still, and they were giving me more information, and they were saying that at the moment it's very much this period of time, it's very reflective. It's that time of reflecting in what's going on for you. Now, what they gave me and what they're giving me now as well, they were giving me so much about bark and trees and the layers of the humans and the layers of the trees, and you know, if we were to cut through the tree, that you would see the rings of, you know, what's happened in season to season to season, whether it's been drought or there's been flooding, and how it affects the tree. And they were saying very much this about the humans, that humans don't tend to realise, they're just saying this now, humans don't tend to realise that when you're travelling through your journey of your soul, when you're travelling on that soul journey, that soul pathway, you're encountering a lot of emotions, experiences, trauma, drama, and the happy side of things too. But what happens is, remember your soul is in this human vessel, this container, and it's so that it makes it easier for the soul to understand. The container, the vessel of the human self, has all the senses, is able to take stock of what's happening. So if there's tearful moments or shock or emotional moments or fear or anxiety or whatever's going on, your body's going to store it in the memory banks of your cells, they just said. So it stores, it holds onto your body, because your body, your mind, your emotions need to feel into it. You need to fully embrace any situations that you're going through. So what happens is, as your body stores all the emotions, you know, the chemical reactions, the chemical things that actually happen, you know, okay, thank you. All the chemicals that are stored in your body, you know, cortisol or whatever it is, either through stress, anxiety, fear, or emotionally just needing to let go. Your body's storing it in your cells, your memory banks. And so when it holds on to it, it's reminding you what's happened. Now, okay, thank you. They just said to me, what happens is when you store it, it stays in the layers, the fabric of your human soul part of you. And the soul sort of takes stock. The soul sort of takes notes. It feels into the feelings. It's like like a tape recorder as such. It feels it, it hears it, it senses it, it can see what's going on for you. And then so the soul starts to process the information more and more and more. Okay, thank you. So they're just saying to me that if the human keeps going on full speed ahead, I think this is information for me too. If the human keeps going full speed ahead, it doesn't have time to totally process the journey of the soul, the journey, what the lessons are teaching you, what you are taking stock of. Okay, thank you. It is, thank you. It is like a stock take, they're saying to me, counting up everything that's happened, looking at what's been happening for you. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. They're talking about with the winter time, that time of that hibernation period, that time of the greater time to take stock, the time of to look at what's going on for you, to look at where you are on your journey and what's happening for you. And what they're saying is it's very much in different parts of the world, obviously wherever you are in the seasons that you work with, but you know, where we are based in the UK right now, it's very much about taking the moment to look at what's going on for you. Now, okay, thank you. So I had COVID over Christmas and New Year's. It wiped me out for about 4 weeks. And what I found was that the most annoying thing was that I couldn't physically get up, physically move around, physically do what I wanted to do, and I was being held back. Now, apart from the physical symptoms of everything that came with that, it was very much that feeling of frustration of being pinned against the, you know, the inside of the sofa or the chair, and I couldn't get up. And I was remembering, I was sitting there and I was saying, but why? I just need to get up. You know, what's this about? And I was told it's about me now taking stock. And it was to feel that feeling of what it led me back to. What was a familiar feeling? What was the feeling that I could connect it to? Where was the thread leading back to? Why was I so angry? Why was I so frustrated that I couldn't physically get up and move around? Why is it that I was forced almost to take stock, to sit down? And I had some fear, and the fear I thought initially was the physical side of my lungs. But what I realized also it was about not having control. It was not having the ability to get up physically. It was being forced to sit there, and I did follow the thread all the way back. I was linking it back to, you know, what happened to me early childhood and everything, what was going on, and it was triggering something. And I remember sitting there with spirit sort of saying, but why bring this up? Why show this to me now? Why is this going on for me? Why is it bringing up old wounds? They showed me, the actual image they showed me was like a tree bark. And what they showed me was the layers of the tree bark, and like how, as I had experienced things that happened during my childhood, my physical body had stored all the emotions, the fear, you know, if I was going to get hit, I would like, you know, bring myself in and away from, running away from getting hit. And my body physically felt it, and there was emotions with it, and I'd held on to it, and I didn't even realise. And it was there, and what they were showing me was that it was very much like the fear or the emotions around it was very much like layers of like this wound. And it was like, as if they showed me, it was like it was pussing out. It was this image they showed me, like it was oozing out. It needed to be cleared out. And then I was like, but why now? And it was just that literally I was being triggered by a very old experience, and the lack of control and the fear that I couldn't get up, and I was forced to sit and forced to be still through having this whole period. And during that, all I needed to do was to follow the emotions and feelings where it was taking me to, and to really have a look at giving it a good old clean and releasing, letting go. And I asked my team, how am I going to do this? And they just said, let the emotions rise to the surface. And I actually took myself back in my mind, and I was experiencing the experiences again, and I was releasing it. And the releation, they just said releation, happened. I was crying, and I just had to let go. It was just how my body physically had to let go. It had to expel this wound. It had to release it, let go of it. And I was sitting there, and I felt so exhausted. And straight away, it was like as if they were, okay, I like this, they called themselves soul midwives. It was as if they were stepping forward to assist me. And I said, I'm so exhausted, I'm so worn out, I'm so tired. And how do I take care of myself? You know, how can I be the caretaker of my soul right now? And they just said to me, go and have a salt bath. You have cried, you have released those minerals through your tears. Now go and have that nourishing bath. Go and rest there in that bath. Allow the water to, you know, your body to be absorbed and bathed in the water, and just help with those wounds that need healing now. And I did. I had the bath and I just laid there, and it just felt like, surely this can't be as simple as this. And they asked me, they sort of, if it feels that you wish to write this down, then do so. You write it down, write what happened, write about releasing those wounds. And so I did. I wrote down and released some wounds. And again, I was sitting there, and I hate being still, and I want to keep busy, and there's so many things to do, and you know, all the work I want to do. And they really just took me out. It was as if to say, this has to be your time. If you do not take the time, we shall take you out, because you need to sit there and you need to start releasing what still needs to come to the surface. Now, I've got a number of clients where they turn around and say, I've done the work, you know, I'm okay now, it's time for me to move on. And I thought I had done the work, you know, going all the way back. And you do, to some degree. You release what you need to let go at any point. And what they were saying to me was that there are so many layers of ourself that each time that you release something, you move forth, you carry on, and then something else may need to be released. But it's all there. It needs gently unwounding or releasing or cleansing of the wound to let go. Now, the reason I also mention this, okay, there's many things to this, but the reason I'm mentioning this is that at this moment in time, we've got the full moon this evening, and we're in, I think it's full moon in Cancer, whatever, very emotional, very sensitive. Having the full moon, we've got, you know, if we look at the moon, what it does, and the tides around the world and the oceans and how they move, and I think they just said they move volumes of water, and the volumes of water, if we see ourselves, we're made up of volumes of water. So whenever we have a full moon, we're going to be feeling it, the emotions that are rising to the surface. And as we go through this month, and as we've come out of December and into January now, it's going to be that time to release, to let go of. And because there's a lot of change that's occurring on the planet right now, this is the ideal time to bring up whatever has to be released. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. They just said also, now, taking stock, your soul takes stock. Your soul, it needs to go through certain processes. It needs to have the healing. It needs the wounds to be healed. Now, they are talking also about that. Obviously, I've spoken about this before, about your energy fields around you, and what we attract in is what we are sending out. So, you know, the people that are brought to us in our life, friends, relationships we might have, friendships, whatever it is that happens, whatever is imprinted, like the blueprint of your soul, is being echoed out. So whatever hasn't been healed as such is going to be echoing out, is going to be sending like a beacon, like an effect, as if it sends up, as if it's honing in on, it needs to be healed. So your energy field, it needs to be healed to some degree, because your soul is sending out this like a bleep, a frequency that needs to be healed. And so what you might find is that you start attracting individuals, either if it's a relationship, a friendship, or whatever it is that you need right now, any information that you need to help heal yourself, it becomes like a magnet. It sort of magnetizes itself, it comes in. And very much so at this moment, with this month of January, it feels like when our soul is sending out like a beacon, as if it's saying, this part of me needs to be healed, this part of me needs to be looked at. We're going to attract certain energies come forward. Okay, thank you. And memories that will be stirred up at the moment. And that's because it's about doing that inner soul work right now. It's that time within our soul that needs to look at, take stock, to look at where we're at. And it just needs that help in that healing. Now, it's interesting. I was talking to somebody today and how she's attracted somebody into her energy field, into her life. And this individual is bringing up some stuff for her. Now, as this person comes into her life, I think they sort of said they're meant to bring stuff up for you. It's meant to bring up the emotions in you. It's meant to bring the vulnerability up and the sensitivity so that can start being worked upon and so it can be cleared away like the old wound. Okay, thank you. They just said the interactions with other humans in your life are meant to step forward. Okay, thank you. Obviously for pleasure as well, and to enjoy life, but also for you to encounter that relationship with them, friendship, sexual relationship, whatever it is, that they come into your energy field to help teach you or show you, and they may not be consciously aware of that at all, and they possibly aren't, but it's because you're on a certain frequency that needs to be healed, or to be healed, that frequency is carried in your energy field, and so that is then sent out like an echo, a ripple in your energy field, and then you attract individuals in. So, okay, thank you. They just said, some of you might find that you may be thinking about people or thinking about situations or thinking of someone, and they will come into your energy field at this moment. Very heightened at this moment, okay? Very heightened. Okay, thank you. They just said, okay, thank you. They just said, I had a phone call last night from someone in Gibraltar, one of my clients, and she contacted me last night. She said, oh my God, I've had this crazy dream and I'm really scared and something happened and I felt that I travelled out of my body and I'm really worried, and this has only happened to me once before and this was a couple of days ago. I don't understand what's going on. And I just said to her, at the moment, we're really being pulled and expanded energetically. It's really this, it's okay, thank you. They just show me, I don't know what you would call them, but it's like when you're in the gym, they just showed me back in the day when you used to have those wire springs and you used to pull it out and you're flexing your chest muscles. It's really going to be about that this moment. It's really sort of flexing yourself. It's really putting yourself out there to some degree as you move forward and expanding yourself. Now, I also said to somebody, one of my clients, that us light workers at the moment and those who are interested in psychic development and working with your intuition, a lot of us are being affected by this at the moment. A lot of us are having that knock on the door in the sense of spirit, or us having the weirdest dreams at the moment, because it's that we need to heal ourselves first so that we can then go on to help others. But it's really that time at this moment, they're saying to me that old relationships might flare up, old issues, old family traumas and dramas, and whatever is going on for you right now, anything that is brought up for you, it's not to push it down and away. It's about really addressing it. And okay, thank you, they said, and by saying, what is this showing me? What is it? Why has this person come back into my life? Or why is this person treating me this way? Or why the same issue, finance is going to be a big thing over the next couple of weeks, and banks and everything else that's coming up. It's really about looking at, what is this showing me? What is it teaching me? What is the lesson that I need to learn from this? Why have I attracted that individual into my life? Because I can honestly say, I've asked the question and they turned around and said to me, you interact and attract individuals on the frequency that you're sending out. So, okay, thank you. And they just said, that is why it's so important to embrace that high consciousness of yourself, to work on yourself, to look at how you can adjust your own energy, how you can do what's best for you. And many humans, they just said, feel that when we talk about what's best for you, many humans will incorrectly say that's being selfish, but it's not. Because if you're okay, that's the main key, then others will be okay around you. But this is really that time right now to reflect, to look back, to really go in and see what's coming up for you and to let it go. I know we've got Mercury retrograde at the moment, and that really goes back, looks at things and can really release that. So it's about really working with the energy at the moment. Now, okay, when they move forward, they're giving me is it? Okay, let's do that. When we get past January the 25th, 26th, 27th, we get to January 29th. Again, the energy changes again. It just totally changes again. So in the next week or so, the next couple of weeks, it's really about us, what's coming up for you. Have a little look, feel into it, what really needs releasing right now, because there's a reason, there's a purpose. Because when we get into February, it feels like full speed ahead. It's new ideas, new life projects, ideas about what direction we're heading into. So we just need to work through this January month to start clearing some more stuff up. It's taking stock, what needs to be looked at, what's coming up for you. And I think they just said, well, not that we would be seeing this, but they just said, you're at the moment given the opportunity to work through issues that are coming up, so that when we move forward into February, we start feeling a lot clearer and cleaner, and so it makes it a lot easier for yourself. Let's have a look if there's anything else. Okay, they're talking about the full moon. And as we know with the full moon, of the releasing, letting go and journaling and writing down things that no longer serve you, things that you need to let go of right now, and the emotions that's coming up. They just said it's a bit like a love letter to yourself. A bit like the love letter to yourself. What is it that you would be saying to yourself right now if you were having that relationship with yourself, which you are, they just said, of what it is that you so rightfully deserve right now as well? Thank you. They're saying, thank you. Sit with the moon and work with the energies. We know the full moon goes on for a few days before, a few days after, it's the energy around it. But sit with the moon and ask the moon, tell the moon what it is that you want and what you want to let go of right now. Because it's very heartfelt at this moment, what's going on energetically.